The Trumpire is striking back, right? The Trumpire strikes back. They are responding to this 2-year witch hunt. It's finally over, and now the doors are open, and they can respond to everybody and do the stuff. Not just negative stuff by attacking the people who attack them, but they can also do the positive stuff that they've been hampered doing. Here's the New York Times, a former newspaper. This is their front page story. This is not a knucklehead row, their op-ed page. This is their front page story. President Trump and his Republican allies went on the offensive on Monday, vowing to pursue and even punish those responsible for the Russia investigation now that the special counsel has wrapped up without implicating him or his campaign in a criminal conspiracy. Mr. Trump, grim-faced and simmering with anger. I mean, he didn't look so grim-faced to me. He looked like Trump. He always looks like that. He didn't seem to be simmering with anger. Denounced adversaries who have pounded him for 2 years over Russian election interference, calling them treasonous people who are guilty of evil deeds. This approach, if it lasts, says the New York Times, a former newspaper, contrasts with those of other presidents who survived major scandals. You got to listen to the way these guys write. They are so skeevy. Listen to this. This contrasts with the way other presidents who survived major scandals. After the Iran-Contra affair, President Ronald Reagan happily dropped the subject and focused on arms control talks with the Soviet Union. After being acquitted at his Senate impeachment trial, President Bill Clinton was just as eager to move on to Social Security and other initiatives. Can you spot the difference? Can you spot the difference? I mean, Ronald Reagan, the laws that Ronald Reagan's administration actually broke in the Iran-Contra scandal were bad laws, and I don't care that he broke them, but still, he did do something. The press was right to call it out and expose it, and the people made their decision. Bill Clinton was actually and did actually do the things he was accused of doing, and he survived the scandal. Donald Trump hasn't survived any scandal. There is no scandal because they haven't covered the real scandal. The scandal is an Obama administration that was packed with these guys who felt free to act in this way that they did. And remember, in the text messages between Strzok and Page, the lovers, at one point, I think it was Page, said President Obama wants to be kept apprised of everything we're doing. Now, that seemed to refer to the Hillary Clinton email investigation, but we don't know. We do know that a lot of this stuff, a lot of this investigation was started under Obama's watch. And if you don't think he was paying attention, you don't think he knew about it, I don't think you know Obama. This was a corrupt administration. And let's just go back. Yesterday, we played a montage from Grabian of all the times the press convicted Trump in the news over these 2 years. Here is another montage from Media Research Council and the Newsbusters guys, just to remind us of what this was like for the last 2 years.
Does the public understand just how much trouble the president is in?
To believe that the president isn't compromised requires such a leap of faith.
I think we have all the proof we need of a scandal that's arguably worse than Watergate.
Do we know if there is still this belief and aspect that the president is working for the Russians? I can't answer that.
The U.S. president possibly working for the Russians. Possibly an unwitting pawn.
And you saw Brian Stelter in there virtually convicting the president of the United States and now out there saying, no, we didn't do anything wrong. Speculation has its value. Yesterday he tweeted, if you want to rest from all this Russia talk, why don't you tune into something else? I tweeted back at him, I don't want to rest from it. I'm happy to watch you be humiliated. But we also, lest we forget, it's not just the news media. It's the entire communication industry, which includes showbiz and includes the academy. This is like an entire industry, but it's the communication industry, which we know in this day of the internet and this day of a constant 24/7 news, constant 24/7 entertainment, constant streaming, surrounds us like a cloud and creates an emotional context in which we all exist, all of us exist, and which constrains the way we think and feel about what's happening around us. And all of them did this, and all of them did it for Obama. They did it against Trump, and they did it for Obama, so that for 8 years, Obama operated virtually untouchably, while he genuinely turned the federal government into a kind of toward a kind of corruption, not money corruption. I don't think he was profiting off it, but a power corruption that just was invisible, emotionally invisible to most of the country.